of whatever home that you happen to be in. We are looking again at this particular location. Let me stop this as it goes through. For southwestern Jackson County, again, we're talking about the Jackson County area here, but what we're also looking at is, again, this particular section of the storm as it crosses through and into Jackson County, Alabama, in the News 12 viewing area. That is where we may see the possibility of some damage from this storm coming on through, and that again is where we're also seeing, let me get rid of some of this information on here and we'll zoom in on that screen area. What we're seeing again to this area, southwestern Jackson County, what we're seeing here is this kind of a notch forming here. There could be the potential of some rotation going on. We've had several reports of supercell thunderstorms taking place within the line of these storms that has been moving on through the area. So this could very well be something that moves into southwestern Jackson County, Alabama, coming up here within about, say, the next half an hour to 45 minutes or so. So that is something that really needs to be watched carefully. For right now, again, we're looking at the storm moving east-northeast, let's call it, at about 45 miles per hour. So that's going to put it toward about the area of Whitesburg at 1:03 a.m. Central Time, Norton 1:06, Hobbs Island 1:07, Cherry Tree 1:08, Berkeley about 1:10, and Owens Crossroads around 1:11. So again, that is where we see the possibility of storms moving into Jackson County, Alabama, from the southwest moving to the east-northeast. Now heading back up again, we are watching this storm passing through the Sewanee area and back to around Tracy City. Sewanee there, I-24 coming down from around Nashville, and the worst of the storm again going through the area right back around Tracy City. Chattanooga is down in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, along with Hamilton County off to the east of this particular storm, and this is again where we are seeing the possible worst of the worst. I'm going to switch over to velocity for a second to see if this gives us some indication of what we may be looking at here. Again, what we're seeing right around Tracy City is that what we call a radar couplet. You can call it a tornado vortex signature if you want to, but for right now, the couplet here, the green and the red in very close proximity, that indicates that somewhere in this rotation area is where we may have the possibility of a tornado, right around Langfordtown and Hobbs Hill. Latest scan has just come out, and now it looks to be between Tracy City and the Oak Grove, Shadrick Hill area. Again, we're looking right into here someplace. We could even have multiple vortexes out of this. This is kind of a wide rotation area. So again, we may have rotation in the storm, but what we're also looking at here is, again, the potential of the winds rotating and turning in that particular area, and that is what we are watching. So if you're in just east of Tracy City and moving over into and around the area of, from eastern Marion County into and around the area of Sequatchie County, that is where we're looking at that possible tornado moving on through. If you are just joining us, we are just past 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central for our friends at the FCC. This is WDEF News 12 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. To give you an idea, again, as to what is going on here. What you're looking at, again, is called velocity mode. This is showing where the winds are turning, going back toward the radar site and moving away from the radar site. So somewhere right in here, good possibility of where we may be looking at a potential tornado. And again, that entire flashing red polygon that you see on screen, this area right here, that is the tornado warning. That again is showing that storm moving to the north and east at approximately 45 miles per hour. We'll see if National Weather Service Nashville has given us any new information on here. Let's see, for right now, no specific new information. Our computers are moving a little slow this morning, so I apologize for any lag time here. We'll get back to the information. Nashville is not seeing anything. Going to National Weather Service Morristown at this time, and also not showing any updates from them in regards to what is happening. Now, some of these storms that have been passing on through portions of the area, they have had confirmed tornadoes in some locations south and west of Huntsville. There were confirmed touchdowns of these particular cells, the dropping a tornado into those areas. So we're watching this storm again. Now the bulk of the storm making its way through Tracy City, Marion County, southern areas of Grundy County, and back into Sequatchie County, all in southeast Tennessee. Excuse me, that is where the worst portion of the storm is going to at this time. Should mention at this point that if you can't watch on air, please tune us in online. We are on our YouTube channel on News 12. We are live on YouTube and also on Twitch if you'd like to find me on there. And we are, as I'm told by Sol, our director of the evening and or morning, that we are live on our website as well. So very good news there. So catch us online if you can't catch us on air. This storm, again, as this tornado warning and the storm warned as it moves over to the east, again, going into Bledsoe County, southern Ray County, western Hamilton County, and then eventually northwestern Bradley, southern Meigs, and southwestern McMinn County. I would be watching this storm very carefully. These storms were not tornadic for better part of an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, before they moved up again from portions of areas of northeastern Alabama. And then they regenerated quite nicely, and that's what we're dealing with right now. That's what happens to these storms. They can drop a little bit in intensity, and then they can regenerate. It happens that way sometimes, to where they'll get a new sort of bounce of energy going on, and that may be exactly what we are seeing here, which also seems to say that we will have more of these storms possibility going upwards in strength and causing more problems here. Let me go and do just a quick track of this system where that potential tornado may be located. And again, going to, let's say, the east-northeast at about 45 miles per hour. The tornado warning, again, remains in effect for Sequatchie County, for southern Sequatchie County, for most of northern Marion County, back into around southern Grundy County at this time. Moving east, a couple of these reports have the storm moving east at about 55 miles per hour, and a couple of them having moving east at approximately 35 miles per hour, according to different National Weather Service reports. So as of right now, we'll just call it an average of 45 miles per hour. So if you are in any of these locations as this storm passes through, the storm will be arriving here at 1:18 a.m. All these are Central Time. Red Hill at 1:18, Cedar Springs 1:20, Condra 1:21, New Hope 1:23, Center Point 1:28, Dunlap 1:29, back to Laurel Creek on the Eastern Time Zone 2:31, Springvale at 2:32, and Forest Park around 2:35. Now you notice at this time that this is drawn in kind of a triangular shape on here. That again is a standard procedure, to where the storm starts in one location, that area near Tracy City, and that is where we see again that potential. That just shows the National Weather Service and the polygon shows that that storm could be again heading or spreading out or even turning a little bit. So the worst potential right now seems to be just east of the Tracy City area, and again that's moving east at approximately 45 miles per hour. What we're looking at here, again, if you're just tuning in, possibly joining us on Twitch or YouTube, we are live on WDEF's News 12 YouTube page, and we are also online on my Twitch account if you want to go into there. Right in that particular location that we are watching, east of Tracy City, west of Pine Hill, in the northern fringe of that tornado warning taking place. That appears again to be the worst of the worst activity that says that we may be looking at a possible tornado. We'll go back to the velocity mode here for just a second. And what we're showing here is, again, the storm has been transitioning by just a little bit. What that means in weather parlance is that the storm is going from basically anything involving rotation and supercell type thunderstorms to where the storm seems to be spreading out the winds by just a little bit. It doesn't seem like much, but it looks like it is transitioning toward a bit of a damaging wind event. Now, what we're also seeing here between Tracy City and Oak Grove, taking a look again at the colors, red heading back or around to the radar site, and green coming back around away from the radar site. And what we're looking at is, again, Greentown, Oak Grove, east of Tracy City. That is where we may be looking at the potential of, again, a possible tornado showing up. So, again, Pine Hill, Cartwright, Bryant, Cedar Springs, Red Hill, anything to the east of this particular location, that is where you need to be in or considering. The warning is now in effect, again, from areas up around Dunlap and Elm Hill. You're included in this tornado warning, all the way down to Comfort, Pinhook, Martin Springs, the Crossroads, Smithtown, and just to the north of Jasper. So most of this, again, has gone to the east of Tracy City, but somewhere in here, again, that is where we are looking at the potential for that possible tornado. So try to get a little bit better view there. The notch is what we're looking at there. That little particular area here, that seems to show the best possibility of something actually happening. So Griffith Creek, north of Pine Hill, I would be in a very safe place. Again, as low to the ground as you can possibly get. Some very good winds turning around inside this particular storm. So again, this is something to very much be concerned with. Let me go back out and we'll do a quick round robin for the entire area. Again, if you're just tuning in just past 2 a.m., we have a tornado warning for Sequatchie. Portions, it looks like it's now been canceled for Grundy County. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning around Grutley-Lager, Colmont, and down toward Tracy City. But we still have that tornado warning in effect now for Sequatchie and Marion, Tennessee. We do not have any indication that the storm has touched down to the ground just yet. Grundy County tornado warning has been canceled. The storm's moved out of the area, so therefore the warning again has been canceled. That from the National Weather Service in Nashville. Going back to Morristown, severe weather statement. Tornado located near Whitwell and 13 miles north of Jasper, moving to the east at approximately 40 miles per hour, radar indicated rotation. And again, if you're just tuning in, the worst part of the storm that could contain a tornado west of Bryant, west of Cedar Springs, pardon me, and west of the Whitwell area. So we are seeing, again, possibility there of maybe getting in a couple more warnings along that line, so we may be dealing possibly with more than one tornado. So again, another very good reason to make certain that you are in a safe place at this time. All right, going out to the entire News 12 viewing area, northern Georgia, there is nothing going on, not even a raindrop showing up at this time. So northwest Georgia, not seeing a problem there, but we are getting, again, rain and some very good-sized thunderstorms now in western Jackson County in Alabama in the News 12 viewing area, as well as a severe thunderstorm warning. That remains in effect until 2 a.m. Central Time. So if you live in Jackson County, you seem to get more than a decent share of severe weather, at least you have since I've been on the job here. So Stevenson, back to the west of Henniger, and just to the east of Huntsville. New severe thunderstorm warning in effect, again, until 2 a.m. Portions of the area, let's call it, say, east of I-75 and Chattanooga, over into western areas of North Carolina. Also, nothing going on at this point. So we do not have anything happening here, but that storm is moving your direction. So Soddy Daisy, north of there, Athens, and into and around the area up as you go out of Monroe, Meigs, and McMinn County. That is where we may be looking again at the potential for the worst weather coming up here within about 30 to 45 minutes, so something to watch out for there. The tornado warning seems to have reduced in size here so that it is now basically only affecting northeastern Marion County, Tennessee, and also Sequatchie County. So that's the worst of the worst there with that possible tornado. Again, just reminding everybody of the benchmarks here on the map. Chattanooga and southern Hamilton County, Chattanooga proper, is not seeing anything at this time, but the worst of these storms back out to the west of us, that is where we may be seeing the worst coming up here. Chattanooga could get some gusty, possibly damaging winds in the next hour. Excuse me. And we could also be seeing more potential of, say, hail, and we can also see the possibility of tornadoes taking place. So for right now, again, the good news is that we are we only have the singular tornado warning as of right now. It is going to be moving into the area of northwestern Hamilton County relatively soon. So if you live, again, in anything around northwestern areas of Hamilton County, I would say, again, Soddy Daisy, Grant, Arcadia Shores, south and around of Graysville, that storm is going to be knocking on your doorstep here 15 to 30 minutes or so. So that is where we're watching. Now, we could see this whole thing cancel and fall apart. There's no question about that. But for right now, what we need to be making certain of is that we are staying in a safe place. And if you're east of this particular storm, you need to be able to make certain to be able to get to a safe place as soon as possible. Tracing out the worst of that particular storm, again, let's call it 45 miles per hour or so for what we can see there. This storm, again, is going to be making its way through Dunlap at about 1:32 a.m., Elm Hill 1:36, Liberty and Condra 1:23 a.m., Bryant around 1:25, into the Eastern Time Zone, Grant at 2:41 a.m., Mowbray at 2:42, a little bit after that in Huckleberry at 2:43 a.m., and then Daisy at 2:45. Right before that, Soddy Daisy around 2:44 a.m. So that is where the storm is going to be heading towards, which means if this continues and the strength of this storm continues, it's possible that we may see a tornado warning here for northwestern areas of Hamilton County very soon at this time. Okay, and let's go ahead and clear this off, because we have more to talk about. We have a new tornado warning taking place south of Scottsboro and Section, but it does include parts of the area into and around extreme southern Jackson County and west central areas of DeKalb counties, those two counties in the News 12 viewing area. So we do now have another tornado warning. This is in effect until 2 a.m. National Weather Service Huntsville, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Owens Crossroads, 13 miles north of the Arab area. I know I'm mispronouncing that. I apologize. Again, I'm still learning town names around here. Moving east at approximately 35 miles per hour. So again, we're watching this particular cell here back around the New Hope area, and that storm again located near Owens Crossroads, moving east at approximately 35. Let me straighten out this so we're on outside of the three-dimensional area here. So this is going east at approximately 35. That means the worst portion of this storm will be heading this direction and go about, say, 45 miles. That'll take it across into Eastern Time Zone at approximately 2:13 or so. So we are starting to see what looks to be kind of a better rotation area there That again from Owens Crossroads south into that area. So this particular cell that is now tornadic, again, 2 tornado warnings now in effect in the News 12 viewing area. One for southeast Tennessee, another now for northeastern Alabama. Bucksnort at 128, likewise Honeycomb Park, Humpton 131 at Half Acre Estates, Grant at 132, the Alexander subdivision at 134, Tanglewood at 136. I'm not reading off all of these because, again, I want to try to get to just a generic idea so everybody will have some idea as to where some of these current locations are. But again, southern Jackson County and western, northwestern DeKalb County in Alabama, you are under a new tornado warning. Again, that is until 2 o'clock Central Time. So this is a just issued by the National Weather Service. Let me clear off some of this data and we'll switch over to the velocity mode. And yes, there is showing up there. It's kind of fuzzy, but we are seeing again that rotation somewhere right in there could be the possibility of that new tornadic circulation taking place. So New Hope area over toward Humpton, Bucksnort, Grant, Breezeway Bay, Preston, and eventually over toward the Carver subdivision into Langston and Crossroad. I'd be watching this very carefully. You are under that tornado warning for that area, Marshall County, but that will eventually be in effect for Jackson and DeKalb counties in Alabama. So that is, again, a tornado warning. The National Weather Service in Huntsville saying that this is a radar-indicated storm. It's very difficult to be able to spot tornadoes at nighttime. So that is why, again, you do not want to be going out and doing something like chasing the storms. You do not chase tornadoes, not at nighttime, not at all if you have not been trained. That is something that is just absolutely, completely, and totally non-negotiable right there. This is a very dangerous situation, and you don't want to be, if you haven't been trained in chasing storms, you do not want to get in law enforcement's way. You do not want to get into around the area of a ambulance going someplace. And as Professor Emeritus Charles Doswell at the University of Oklahoma called them, the ones who give the real storm chasers a bad name, he christened them storm chasing yahoos. So again, if you've never chased before, you don't get in the car and try, or the truck or whatever you've got, and try to go after these storms, especially when they could be rain wrapped and you cannot see them. Again, you want to be a chaser? Great. Find out more about severe weather and learn from the experts. You do not just go jump in the car or truck and chase storms. That is not what you do. All right, out to the entire viewing area. We again, if you're just tuning in, we have 2 tornado warnings taking place. One now for southern Sequatchie County. It looks like all of Grundy County and Marion County have been taken out of this warning, and we now have this new tornado warning into southern areas of Jackson County, Alabama, and north, I'll call it western DeKalb County in Alabama. So again, 2 tornado warnings taking place along this particular line. And if you are east of this, northwest Georgia, southeast Tennessee, anything to the east of the Alabama-Georgia line, anything approaching I-75 in Tennessee, you want to make sure that you are ready to go to get to your safe place. If you don't know where that is, again, do the research and find out lowest floor of whatever house or home or building you happen to be on. See, Marion, Tennessee, all right, that appears to be still in the tornado warning, and so does Sequatchie County. Severe thunderstorm warning now for Grundy County, and most of the rest of the area of Marion County has been shaved off from that tornado warning, but we still have that storm making its way now close to Bryant and Dunlap and down toward Cedar Springs. So this looks to be fairly intense line. If we're not even getting the tornado out of this, which again was radar indicated, but now it appears we are seeing less of a signature. It's a very broad signature at this time when we look at velocity mode. So again, what we're seeing is that particular rotation somewhere in there where the red meets the green. That is where we may be seeing the potential of, again, a possible tornado. So the closest red and green colors here looking less and less acceptable for the possibility of rotation, but there is still some type of rotation in there. Also going down a little farther to the south, we've got some very strong winds around the Whitwell area. That's going to be making its way over the mountains down toward the Tennessee River Valley. So it's a good possibility that we may see in this line as it makes its way down to the east-southeast. There may be a broad amount of wind damage out of this. Now's not the time to go out and start putting the lawn chairs and the yard art away. This is a time to stay in and inside and make certain that you are protected as the worst of this particular storm cell makes its way on through. So again, this is moving east at approximately 45 miles per hour. So we do have, we've had reports of it going 35. We've had reports of it going 45 and 55 miles per hour. So we will just do a nice little sort of halfway approach on there and say it's moving east at approximately 45 miles per hour. Checking off screen here to see if there's anything new in regards to this potential, again, tornado warning. If you're in northeastern Sequatchie County and back into and around southern Sequatchie, northeastern Marion County, that is the worst part, again, that is moving through. We did see, just for a second, let me stop this about midstream, right about where was this? About 15 minutes ago, where that cell was located, and what we are looking at here from Grootley Logger around the curve from Tracy City down to Martin Springs, I-24, and Comfort. That area right there, that backwards bow shape is usually a pretty good indicator that we may be looking at what is called a bow echo, and that means that areas out and in advance of this particular cell, again, Whitwell, Victoria, Inman, Bryant, Dunlap, in that particular area, you might be looking at the potential of some very gusty, damaging winds coming on through. So that could be a bit of a problem. Again, indoors, even if you're under the severe thunderstorm warning as this system goes on through, and we do still have that warning for Grundy County, Tennessee, very heavy rainfall could be a problem, as well as gusty, damaging winds. So again, this is something that you really do need to take very seriously. Let's go back down and take a look again into Alabama, where we have, again, a new tornado warning here for areas of Jackson and DeKalb counties in northeastern Alabama. So if you're here, this one also appears to be kind of getting that sort of spread out bow shape. So it's possible that as this moves over the Tennessee River Valley, we could be looking at gusty, damaging winds, 55, 65 miles per hour plus. So indoors is going to be your best bet on this, and you really just want to treat anything here as seriously as possible. We now have new tornado or severe thunderstorm warnings being issued for the rest of Jackson County and back into the remainder of DeKalb counties because of the fact that we have this large line of storms now passing through. So we have quite the line developing here. Let's stop this for a second and give you an idea as to where this is going to be going. From northern portions of Jackson County to just west of DeKalb County. So this, again, moving, let's call it an average of about 45 miles per hour. So this, again, moving into the rest of northeastern Alabama. It looks like this is going to be going through Tupelo at approximately 1:30. About 5 minutes later to Holiday Shores. About another few minutes after that, Eureka, Black Ankle, Swearingen, Cooper's Mill at about 1:36 a.m. So again, this particular line making its way into western and central parts of Jackson County as a severe thunderstorm warning. But we are also, again, watching the strongest part of this storm here, where there is a tornado warning in effect. So if you are in extreme southern Jackson County in Alabama and northwestern DeKalb counties, the storm has not reached your particular locations yet, but it is bearing down on that particular area. So again, into around, say, Langston, Bellevue, Grove Oak, Asbury, Lakeview, just outside the tornado warning for now, but that storm is on its way. So again, anything over toward I-59 into DeKalb counties, DeKalb and right about up to eastern Jackson County, Alabama, you want to be, again, in a safe place. Let's stop this for a second. I want to see what high-top radar is giving us here when it comes to, okay, very decent signature there. Let me check out and see what National Weather Service Huntsville is telling us, see if they have any special severe weather statements coming out here. Tornado warning for Madison County is canceled. The storm has moved out of Madison County, so Madison County, north central, northeastern Alabama has been canceled at this time. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, and at this point, no new updates from National Weather Service Huntsville regarding this particular storm. I'm going to go in a little bit tighter here. Again, we're watching back over. You're looking into the area of Jackson County and, again, northwestern DeKalb counties here. What we're seeing somewhere along this line, and it looks like there's a couple of pretty good candidates here to where we may be looking at a possible tornado, maybe a stronger one showing up here between Grant and Preston, could be a possible one there. Also looking into around Glen Haven, the Alexander subdivision. That is about the strongest we can see. There might be another set of rotation getting going north of Manchester and northwest of Henryville. It's very unfocused at this time, so we're not getting a good deal of anything that is showing us really a decent amount. Let me go upwards in the atmosphere a little bit, and if that rotation is up there, now we're starting to see a little bit more. And I hope we have not lost the radar data here. Okay, there we go. Somewhere around here, looking like this might be a pretty good signature right around Preston and Breezeway Bay. So we might be looking again at another possible tornadic signature right over the Tennessee River, going into southwestern and south central Jackson County here within just a few minutes. Not seeing much of anything else. Again, back toward Bucksnort, possibility of something forming there. But for right now, that again is where we may see the worst of it. It's right in here. Also, again, that bowing out shape. We might be seeing the potential along that entire line of maybe some stronger winds coming through. The leading edge of that particular storm is just now making its way into southwestern Jackson County as a tornado warned storm. They have shaved off some of the tornado warning from Madison County, but we still have DeKalb and Jackson counties to go at this time on that tornado warning. The good news is, I believe, yes, okay, so far some good news here from the National Weather Service in Morristown. The tornado warning area that was in effect, you were looking at it showing up right in the middle of your screen, shaved off there around Dunlap and Cedar Springs. It looks like that has been changed. Let me see if I can get some more from the National Weather Service here. Special weather statement. Okay, tornado warning for central Sequatchie and northeastern Marion counties will expire at 1:30 a.m. Central Time. The storm which prompted the warning has weakened below severe limits and no longer appears capable of producing a tornado. Therefore, the warning will be allowed to expire. However, gusty winds are still possible with this thunderstorm, and a tornado watch remains in effect until 6 a.m. for eastern Tennessee. So for the Tennessee area, the tornado warning has now been allowed to expire. So what we have left over is, again, some very heavy rainfall and could be some gusty, possibly damaging winds with this particular cell as it moves its way north of the Tennessee line. That is just about ready to cross into Hamilton County. So we may be looking again at some very breezy conditions here. Let me take a look at the Chattanooga area real quick. Chattanooga down toward the bottom section of your screen, along with the 24, 75, 59 junctions down there. So it looks like for now the storm right back around portions of the Tennessee River moving in from the north and west. So we do see, again, some very heavy rain and some gusty winds coming right down I-24, Jasper, Lads, Dixie Lee, Inman, Shake Rag, and Pittsburgh, getting hammered by some very heavy rainfall. And that right now, let's see if we can do a quick storm track on here for this particular cell to give you an idea as to what's going on. Again, this particular cell that we're watching again for right now, moving again to the east, let's call it 45 miles per hour or so. So this particular cell is going to be winding up. Well, my storm tracker all of a sudden decides not to work, so hang on just for 1 second here. Try it one more time, and if that doesn't work, then we'll try something. There we go. All right, so the storm itself, again, occasionally, this is live TV, stuff happens, unfortunately. So making its way into the area. So this will be right about Signal Mountain by about 2:45 a.m. Eastern Time. Applewood 2:44, Flat Top 1:42 a.m. Central. Around the area of Stanley at 1:40. It's in the Haletown area right now. That leading edge making its way into Haletown, just around I-24. Right north of the Tennessee line. So this is where we're going to see the worst of the possibility of damaging thunderstorm winds. Some very heavy rainfall. If you don't have to travel going anywhere around the area, especially on the interstate, try to wait until this whole thing is passed on through. You do not want to be going out and getting into this very heavy rainfall situation. This could be just as dangerous, again, looking at these amount of rain coming through. Could be looking at hail, gusty thunderstorm winds, and going to make things very choppy. And again, this could go tornadic. It's not out of the question at this time that we may see the potential of our storm becoming tornadic yet again. So we're going to have to watch that. Okay, some better news at this point. I'm going to go switch over to the National Weather Service in Huntsville on my other computer here, because it looks like for now we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for DeKalb and Jackson counties, and it looks like the storm has now lost some of its punch, so we do not appear to see anything going on with tornado warnings. But let me just double check here with the National Weather Service in Huntsville to see if they have anything to say about this. The orange flashing polygons, those again are severe thunderstorm warnings. So the good news, the best news is that again, we do not appear to have anything in and around the area of tornadoes. What we also have is, again, some very intense cells filled with rainfall. We haven't done lightning in a little bit. Let's take a look and see what's going on there. We'll clear off some of the information where it comes to my polygons. The lightning has really taken a downturn, and it looks like that's usually a good sign that these cells have started to kind of diminish a little bit. But notice that tornado warning was kind of not here, and then gone. So the National Weather Service in Huntsville looking like they are saying that as of right now, it doesn't appear to be a major threat, and that the tornado warning appears to have diminished, and the warning has now been canceled. Damaging winds and severe thunderstorm warnings remain in effect, so we could be looking at damaging winds out of this line coming on through. And let's just stop this for just 1 second one more time. I'm going to zoom in again on southern Jackson and heading over toward DeKalb counties. I just want to take one more look to see if there's anything showing up. There are some fairly decent couplet signatures showing up. We're looking for the red and the green to show up very close together, and again somewhere picking up bit of a notch every once in a while. It's very weak, and if the National Weather Service in Huntsville is not seeing anything with their radar, I don't think that they would have canceled this. But we are seeing here, let me see if that'll give us a nice little reading, 76 mile per hour wind gusts showing up with this storm. That is several thousand feet up in the atmosphere. So if that is able to translate down to the surface, we could be looking again at some very breezy winds, 67 miles per hour, 54 miles per hour, back between Aspel, I hope I'm saying these right. If any of these winds that you notice, again, as the radar beam goes up into the atmosphere, that is where we see these estimations of winds taking place. But if that wind can go downwards toward the ground, that is where we start seeing the potential of, again, some of these storms creating some gusty winds. There's an 86 estimated mile per hour wind gust between Bellefonte and Georgetown, right on the western slopes of the river as it heads down to the south and east and right south of Martintown. So again, this is an estimated wind gust that you're looking at here in the center part of your screen. So what does that mean? Again, it means that we could be seeing some very gusty winds out of this, some very heavy amounts of rainfall, but it appears that we do not have a tornado warning. We will be tossing back, telling my director, Sol, that we will be tossing back to regular programming coming up here in a couple of minutes. But I just want to stay on the air for at least a couple of minutes because I don't want to have to sign off and then sign back on again if we don't have to. So taking a look again at what's going on here with the radar, and that is showing us the line from roughly Spring City to Dunlap, just about ready to hit the Soddy Daisy area. Precious little in the amount of lightning out there. It's really diminished, and that's good news. Usually when the storms are intensifying, the lightning spikes, and we get a lot more in the way of lightning readouts, which at this time we are not seeing that much. The number of total strikes in the upper right-hand corner of your screen has gone downwards by quite a lot. It's not zero, but it is looking a little bit better, and the majority of those strikes, 3/4 roughly percent, are negative lightning strikes. What does that have to do with anything? If we were recording a lot more positive strikes, it is possible that that can be an indicator of possible tornado development. It's not a guarantee. It's just an interesting possibility right there that a lot of tornadic storms, especially the stronger ones that form in supercell type situations like this, that is where we are seeing, again, less. We're seeing less in the way of positive strikes, so hopefully that trend continues because we really don't want to have anything in the way of a new tornado developing here. North of the Tennessee line, not much going on. I'm going to go back here to regular maps here for just a second to show you what's happening. Again, back to the area of around I-24, Grundy County. You have now been released from the tornado watch that was in effect until 3 o'clock Central Time. And a lot of these counties continue to be canceled out of this. Tornado watch does continue, that's a watch, not a warning. The tornado watch in effect for Jackson and DeKalb counties in Alabama, that continues until 3 a.m. Central. So we've got about another hour and 15 minutes for that to happen. For the area into and around Hamilton County and the rest of southeast Tennessee, we are still under a tornado watch. Yes, it says until 7 o'clock, but again, this particular cell that is moving through this line is probably going to pass through Jackson, DeKalb, Marion, Sequatchie, and eventually Hamilton County. So we will be getting rid of a lot of these watch boxes, these counties covered by, again, the tornado watch. The National Storm Prediction Center has not issued anything for northwest Georgia, and so far, let me go back and confirm with the National Storm Prediction Center to see if there's anything new in the works. We do have one mesoscale discussion down that direction. Okay, for northeast Alabama, And for northwest Georgia, the latest discussion from the Storm Prediction Center is showing the risk for severe weather is diminishing and not likely to rejuvenate through early morning. So that is definitely some good news there. However, there may be the possibility of more strong storms. It looks like as we get into possibly late Sunday morning. So if News 12 production manager Chris Hull is watching, we may need to get a new director in here for later on today. We'll watch and see what goes on. But once again, for Jackson and DeKalb counties in Alabama, we are under a tornado watch until 3 a.m. Central. For Hamilton County and the rest of southeast Tennessee, also for Cherokee County in the News 12 viewing area in western North Carolina, we are under that tornado watch until 7 a.m. and we will be here watching as this tornado watch heads away from us. I should mention also that we are under a flood watch for parts of the area, again for Jackson and DeKalb counties. That remains in effect until 7 o'clock Central Time Sunday evening. That's 7 p.m. Central for Northeast Alabama. For Northwest Georgia, the National Weather Service has issued a flood watch in effect until 8 p.m. Monday. These storms are going to be contributing a lot of rainfall to the area. So we could see, again, a lot of problems out there with flash flooding. So that is going to be really something to take into account. So please remember, turn around, don't drown, find another way to get to where you're going. That, again, if you drive, you wouldn't drive into a wildfire. So why would you drive into a flooded situation? You can't see the road. You don't know what's floating through on the undercurrent there. It only takes a foot of water to wash your car away, and that includes SUVs, delivery trucks, things like that. A foot of moving water has a lot of force to it. So that, again, is something to really consider there on that. Again, we are watching the storm line coming on through. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning just south of Huntsville, and that will be affecting the Jackson County area again. Well, let's see, is that an old one? I believe it is. Okay, yes, that was timed out for a while ago, so it looks like for now, let's go back to analysis before we get too confused here. We do have, again, okay, starting over on the data. Okay, looks like one more round here. All right, we do still have severe thunderstorm warnings, yes, for Jackson and DeKalb counties in Alabama. What I showed you earlier was a timed out graphic that we don't usually use on live weather coverage on here. So for right now, looks like severe thunderstorm warning does continue for Northeast Alabama, DeKalb, and Jackson counties until 2:15 Central, and that is where the strongest line of storms continues to move on through. If you're just joining us, maybe you're just getting the power back on and want to know what's going on into and around the area, once again, we'll do a round robin here and give you an idea as to what is happening. Chattanooga is right in the middle of your screen, and we are about to see that storm crossing over the Signal Mountain, Lookout Mountain area, so the storm will be heading on through there. The tornadic warning storm into around Sequatchie, Marion, and Grundy counties has been canceled, but we do have a fairly strong amount of rain coming down, and that's approaching the I-75 area between Chattanooga and the Knoxville area. That is going to be causing some very good slowdowns here within about the next, I'd say, 30 to 45 minutes or so. Meanwhile, down into around portions of northeast Alabama, we've got this strong line of storms now pretty much straight over central Jackson County, which is why we have that severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect for the area. And then also DeKalb County, the storm line has not reached you yet. It's going to be moving through DeKalb County relatively soon. And some of those storms, again, back to around Marshall and Cullman counties in Alabama are particularly intense. That's some fairly heavy amounts of rainfall, so that could be a bit of a problem there. And add to this, again, for our viewers in northwestern Georgia, that also could be a bit of a problem. You're not getting anything in that particular location, but it's a good possibility that you will be seeing a pretty heavy amount of rainfall coming on through within about the next 2 hours or so. So if you live anywhere to the east of the Alabama-Georgia line, you're going to be picking up a lot of this activity coming up here within about not too long from now. So this is going to be something to really take a look at. Again, even though there's severe thunderstorm warnings, treat them like tornado warnings, and because we have had tornadic weather before tonight, it is definitely not a bad idea to make certain that you are kind of erring on the side of caution so that you can make certain that you are in a safe place on there for right now. So this is something to really kind of take into account on there. All right, we just got our chat function back on YouTube. Thanks to everybody for checking in on there from all over the place. Reporting several people saying heavy rainfall, strong wind out there. Dayton starting to get a little wild in this location. Looking like not really seeing too much of any major problems on there from the chat function there. So thanks to everybody for checking in, and if you're on Twitch, you can also catch me on there. But we'll be going back to regular programming pretty soon. We would have gone back earlier within about the course of just the last few minutes, but the way these storms have been regenerating, we want to make certain that everybody is watching these storms as they come along and move through the area. So all the tornado warnings at this time have been canceled or have expired. So that's the good news. But these storms have seen a pretty good ability to regenerate. So it's possible at any point in time in the next couple of hours, especially where this tornado watch is concerned. And again, we ran off all of these counties from earlier. The tornado watch stays in effect until 6 a.m. for Sequatchie and Marion counties, and until that's Central Time, Eastern Time until 7 o'clock for Hamilton County, Chattanooga, and back to Cherokee County in western North Carolina. It does not affect any portion of the area into and around northwest Georgia. So far, they have not issued anything on there, so definitely some good news on that. We do not have any indication at this time, and let me just see if we can get the information up here real quick so that everybody can see this. I'm live on air, haven't been in front of the green screen, but again, want to watch, and if you're on YouTube and Twitch, on here. Let me see if I can bring up this particular website from the Storm Prediction Center. And it's a little bit small, but we'll try to engage this so everybody can see it. It's a little bit hard to see. Let me go back to regular here on YouTube so everybody can take a look at this. These are called mesoscale discussions. What does that mean? This is where the Storm Prediction Center issues particular polygons to say we're watching this area for a strength increase, for heavy rainfall, for winter weather, whatever it is. And this is what we're looking at right now in that oval over portions of northeast Alabama and northwest Georgia. It says the caption says the risk for severe weather is diminishing and not likely to rejuvenate through early morning. So that's good news. Now, that's not a guarantee that we will not see any severe weather. It's possible we could see over on the left-hand side winds of 55 to 70 miles per hour, and it's possible we could see some weak tornadoes out of this as well. So for right now, the good news is it doesn't look like northwest Georgia is going to pick up anything in the way of severe weather taking place. Hopefully, again, it stays that way, but we'll, again, be on the air should that happen to let you know more about what's going on. So for right now, again, Hamilton County, southeast Tennessee, under a tornado watch until 7 a.m. Jackson County, DeKalb counties in Alabama, Marion counties, and a portion of Sequatchie and Bledsoe counties under Central Time. You will remain under the tornado watch until 6 a.m. Central Time. Also, again, remember that flood watch that is still in effect for areas south of the Tennessee line and Chattanooga. We could be looking at a good 2 inches plus of rainfall, and while that doesn't sound like a lot, it is still, again, potential for problems out there. Let's take a look at the latest. We should be getting an updated already forecast from the Storm Prediction Center. It looks like the threat for severe weather, we still remain at a slight category in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Again, that is a 2 out of 5 severe weather threat. It's not like what we saw a couple of weeks ago with that high risk of severe weather. It's a potential, and more importantly, everybody in the News 12 viewing area is under a potential for, again, severe weather. That will be leaving the area down to the south and east of us as we go into Monday. And it looks like for right now, the threat will be heading on out of the picture, so should not be too much of a problem beyond this afternoon, but there could be a repeat performance in some areas. We do have some decent amounts of damage reports showing up middle western Tennessee, some in portions of northern Alabama, and back into northeastern areas of Mississippi at this time. The bulk of anything appears to be, again, flooding taking place in and around Kentucky, northwest Tennessee, southern Missouri, back into around Arkansas, Cave City, getting a lot of problems out that direction, and it looks like some more flash flooding taking place there. The closest one that we have to us is in Fayetteville, Tennessee, an automatic weather recording station showing a wind gust of 62 miles per hour. That's in Lincoln County, just outside of the News 12 viewing area. So it appears that things are staying, just because you don't see it in our area for right now in the News 12 viewing area, that does not mean that we have not gotten anything that happened here. It is possible that we're going to be seeing a lot more reports coming up here within the next several hours. So again, this could be a busy evening. Hopefully there's no reports of damage. If there are, we'll bring that to you coming up later on News 12. Let's take a look right now outside, and we're going to wrap up coverage here in just about a minute or two. Looking back to the west from Island Cove Marina and Resort, a lot of clouds, but not really much going on. Temperatures overnight, as we head into the overnight period, we will see lows not that low, only in the mid-60s. So there's really not much in the way of cooler weather coming on through, but there will be as we get into later on this week. That is where we could be seeing, again, the potential for some frost in the area. So something, again, to be concerned about there. If you have plants outdoors, I've got to get my avocado trees off the front porch and make certain that they are protected on that. And that's going to be happening Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning, so definitely something to take a look at there. All right, so what are we looking at for now? Right now, this line is, again, starting to move into northwest Georgia, so right around the areas of Dade and Walker counties. That is where we now have a new severe thunderstorm warning taking place. Again, these storms have become tornadic very quickly, so it is possible that we may be back on the air here pretty soon to give you an idea as to, again, what's going on. The storms that were up around Soddy Daisy and the storms now making their way into northwestern Hamilton County, they are not severe at this time. So again, right over 27 and heading up to around Arcadia Shores, Coulterville, Graysville. You've got a lot of rainfall, but not that much showing up in the way of lightning. So no warnings north of the Tennessee line, south of the Tennessee line. We have, again, numerous severe thunderstorm warnings for Jackson and DeKalb counties in Alabama, and now for Dade and Walker counties in northwest Georgia. Your severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect until 3:30 on Sunday morning, so about another half an hour or so on that. We're going to go ahead and throw it back to regular programming. Time is coming up on 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Central Time, and we've been on the air here for just about an hour or so. We'll break back in should it become necessary from the National Weather Service. Anything involving tornadoes, we will let you know about that. Again, as the storm moves back to the east at about 45 miles per hour. I-75 east of Chattanooga, northwest Georgia, northeast Alabama, anything along and east of that line, you're about to get hit with some very heavy winds, possibility of some hail out there, and then also the potential of some very heavy rainfall, some flash flooding, not out of the question there. We were live. We're going to shut things down on Twitch and YouTube, but again, we will be back once again to give you an idea as to what's going on. Live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek. Stay tuned to News 12 throughout the rest of the morning, and we'll keep you informed in this severe weather event. We now take you back to regular programming.